Sunset Monday to sunset on Tuesday, the official International Holocaust Remembrance Day begins and ends. It honors the 6 million or so Jews who were killed during the Nazi genocide of World War II, known as the Holocaust, throughout Europe by Adolf Hitler's regime to wipe out one of the smallest in terms of followers, but oldest religions on earth. The goal is to never forget, which is what some people, including in this country, may be doing these days. And it's happening at a time when anti-Semitic sentiment and hate crimes are at higher rates than they have been in many decades. Joining us right now to talk about this and so much more, profoundly talk about it, Leo Ullman of Long Island, a remarkable man who survived the Holocaust when, as a toddler, his parents gave him to a Christian family in Amsterdam to hide and protect him. Also with us, journalist Dana Arschin, who has told Leo's story on video in a most powerful way. She's now working for the Holocaust Memorial and Tolerance Center of Nassau County. Both of you, thank you so much for joining us, and good to see you both, Dana and Leo. Leo, let me start with you. You were 2 years old when your parents gave you up to another family, staying in Amsterdam because they wanted to save your life.
They thought it was the only way they could save my life and that of themselves, that they had to go into hiding, which was a very difficult decision. I was actually 3 at that point, and they had to decide to give me to the resistance, and the resistance arranged for my hiding place, ultimately with a policeman, a retired policeman and his wife in Amsterdam, not knowing who I was or where I came from, just knowing I was a Jewish kid.
Yeah.
And my parents, in the meantime, went into hiding at the other end of Amsterdam, not knowing where I was or whether I was alive.
And go ahead. You eventually, let me interrupt you. You eventually were reunited. You were reunited with your parents. When and what happened after that?
It was right after Amsterdam was liberated, which was the 5th of May in 1945. At that point, Amsterdam was freed, and my parents were able to find out where I was through an intermediary in the resistance. And they came to pick me up, and I didn't know who they were. It had been so long, and I was thinking that the people who were taking care of me were my parents. And suddenly these people who looked so emaciated and in terrible shape suddenly said that they were my parents, and I didn't know.
Oh gosh, I think people are tearing up right now to hear your story, Leo. And let me just say before I get to Dana, we saw your really nice waterfront home, a little tennis court there. We know what you've done. You went to Harvard. You just were so very well educated. You got a law degree. You were in the Marines. You got an MBA from Columbia. You've been a very successful businessman. And I think the best thing I ever heard you say on tape, and a tape that was made, a video by Dana, is that your growing family is your greatest revenge against Hitler. Talk a little bit about that, and then I want to talk to Dana.
Well, it was my mother saying when we arrived in the U.S., it was in late November of 1947. We were on a boat, and my mother saw the Statue of Liberty for the first time, and that's when she said that we beat Hitler. And that was such a moving moment for all of us. And we beat him because we have 4 children, 9 grandchildren, 17 to 20 members of our family, and we are all well and we're healthy. We're living in this beautiful country, and that's how we felt we beat Hitler.
Well, one of the people who has told your story and done it really beautifully is a former television reporter here in New York, Dana Arschin, and Dana, now you work for the Holocaust Remembrance Museum in Nassau County. Tell us about your take on this, how important it is, your calling, to make sure that we don't forget, and what you think of your friend Leo there.
Thank you. And Bill, I have to thank you because for years now, you have been so supportive. I've always had you on my email list, sending out my stories, and your messages have meant so much to me. So thank you for taking an interest. I really am passionate because of my grandfather, who I call my papi. He just turned 101 in March. and he is an Auschwitz survivor. Both of his parents and 5 of his siblings were murdered. And I think it's unfathomable to imagine what he went through. And I dedicated past 10 years of my life really learning his story. I went back to Poland in 2018 and I did 3 short films on my journey there. I visited all different camps and I just spent my life trying to learn. And the past few years, I was trying to think about what type of work I would be really passionate about. And I did work at a station here in New York where I started the Holocaust series. And I took that series to the Holocaust Memorial and Tolerance Center of Nassau County, which we call HMTC for short. And I'm the museum's first ever storyteller, which is really unique, really innovative. I wrote up this crazy pitch and I said to the museum, let me do this for you. And they were so inviting and so welcoming and really excited for this. And I've interviewed 18 survivors since September. I'm about to interview my 19th survivor next week. And I go all over the tri-state area. I've interviewed survivors in Florida. And I basically document their stories and create these short 5 to 10 minute long films.
And they are so profound and so moving. You're in television, you know this, and so you understand that. I got 30 seconds left to get an answer from you. You're doing this. What is your reaction to what you see with the hatred all around toward Jews?
It's horrifying. And what I always say is that the Holocaust started with words. That's all it started with. So I would never put it past any country or any government to think that this can't happen again. So we are encouraging people to be upstanders, fight hate, fight bullying, fight intolerance of any kind.
Well,
and hear a story.
Yep, you're doing it. And thank you both for doing it here on Eyewitness News. Extra time. I really appreciate it. Dana and
Thank you so much, Bill.
Good luck to you.
Thank you very much.